Mhm. This one. Yeah, 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 yeah,
Which
yeah.
I've
The output.
disconnected today's meeting. Everyone of us are glad you came. So first of all, I want to apologize again that we are starting now. Just have to quickly make this move, right? So I'm so sorry. I hope you are forgiving. Oh, thank you. Yes, I know inside of your heart. Yes.
No, please say no. You came from the bottom.
No, later you forgive me. No problem.
Maybe let's see how it goes.
All right. Thank you everyone for coming. Please appreciate yourself. Thank you so much for your patience. Okay, my name is Gift Samuel, and I'm so pleased to see your lovely faces. It's my first time seeing you. But really, I would like us to do a brief introduction of ourselves so that we get to know each other in this room. Okay, I'm starting from this.
Okay, my name is. I don't know how to start with.
Yeah,
Let's appreciate you.
My name is Theo.
Yeah. I like that. Thank you and welcome so much, sir. Okay, sir. White nice.
Yes, good morning.
Good morning.
Happy to be here and meeting you all. I'm Benazan Akibode Sani.
Wow.
I just concluded the training with the plant completion. Yes.
All right, welcome, Mr. Zan. Okay, the lady on the beat. Oh, she's so pretty.
Hi everyone.
Hi, everyone. Welcome, welcome. Thanks for coming. Oh, the lady that is angry with me. I know later we'll be friends.
No,
We will by force.
We won't.
That friendship is a by force thing.
It's not by force.
So sorry.
Yeah,
Hi everyone. Hi everyone.
Hi.
So my name is Becky. Feel free to connect me later. Bye.
I like that name, Becky. Like Becky
With the
gives
good hair.
friends.
Yeah.
All right, thank you, sir. Please.
All right. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
I'm glad to be here to see.
Glad to see you.
Some people have been seeing them online, and I'm seeing them now. It's a privilege to be here. My name is Gabriel.
Angel Gabriel. Welcome, sir. We are well guided. All right, sir. Yes, sir.
My name is Sonny Allah. I'm happy to be here, and at the end of the program, I was invited that I came.
Yes, I like that. Welcome, sir. Thank you so much. Okay, to the next person.
Good morning, everyone.
Yeah, good morning.
Yeah, my name is Victor. I'm glad to be in this wonderful setup.
Yes, I can see it's smiling.
Mix of different personalities. Thank you.
Wow, thank you so much. Let's appreciate Victor. Thank you.
Good morning. Yeah, my name is Ruben. I just also finished the class concluding program,
Wow.
and it's a privilege to be here today.
Wow. Thank you so much for coming, Mr. Ruben. Hi, everyone. Good morning.
Hi.
My name is Joy.
Hi, Joy.
Oh, it's so My name is Joy. Thank you, Joy. I'm part of this podcast. Please let's very well.
Hi everyone.
Hi.
My name is Kevin, AWS Community Leader.
Power!
Everybody.
Thank you so much. That's our boss. Thank you so much for coming. I mean, it's so lovely having all of you. I'm sure colossal giants in this industry. Yes. Thank you so much for coming. Thank you. All right, and also not leaving behind, we have our virtual audience. Let's appreciate them. Let's appreciate them. We have been waiting patiently for this time. So we have Joshua, we have a lot of them. We have Victor, we have Dreams, Isaac. So let's just appreciate them. Thank you so much for joining us live. So we'll be starting now. Like I said, we'll be starting now. So we have a brief section, and this brief section is like an expose, and I'll be inviting on stage the convener.
God.
Okay, so we have a brief slide session, like I said. So I'll be inviting on stage Mr. Samuel Joseph. Please let's appreciate him and come on. No, I'm not clapping very much now. I'm also going to give a big shout out to Data Ford for putting this together. Can we give a big shout out to Data Ford for putting this together? Making this happen. Thank you so much. Thank you. Okay, we're waiting for you, sir. Thank you. All right.
Okay, these programmers and cloud cheat code. It's something simple I just had to put together alongside that effort that I helped some of their students with cloud computing foundational and getting them started in the cloud. So, and I'm privileged to have great guests in our midst. We have Mr. Theophilus, all the way from MTN. Thank you, sir, for making the time.
Thank you.
Who is also
Yes.
who is also a community builder for AWS.
Wow.
Thank you so much. And I also see our class was mainly virtual, so I'm seeing some of my students for the first time, and some of them I've seen them in person, and I've seen Ruben and some others in person. But it's good to have you all here with us. So, on a very quick stuff for the first class, especially understanding that we have a lot of newbies and it's cloud cheat code, and they have challenges. Okay. And they have challenges trying to do some few things with the cloud. So I just put together a very short, I'll say, demonstration for not for the bosses here. So if you're a boss here, whatsoever we do, you look very, you look more like somehow minute, but I think it's also something very key that a number of people need to get to know. How to, if you have a web server running and a website running and you want to update it, you don't need to always log into your virtual server and keep updating the virtual server. You don't need to log into carry out the business. So it's more like an automated process to just update your web server in a way that you have less stress going through it. And the key is using what is referred to as user data actually. And I know a number of us know what user data script is for. It's used to launch. So I'll be doing the demonstration from here. So I'll need to present now. So those online can follow through. Please help me confirm that the virtual persons can see my screen.
Yes.
Okay. Is my screen visible? Yeah. Okay. So as I said, it's just a very short demo because I know a number of people. Yes, we know cloud. We also have DevOps, but at the same time, not everybody is very much familiar with the DevOps tools. So it's just I'm trying to take advantage of the cloud tools that you have and utilizing it to just have a partially automated process for updating your website when there are changes. So you maybe building a Jenkins. I know if I tell some persons build a Jenkins CI/CD pipeline, it will be a lot of stress. So but just using your user data script and having your ID like Visual Studio Code, and you are good to go. So it's just something very brief, just for hands-on sake, and we'll go through together. So first, I believe to do this, we'll be using AWS to log into our environment. So logged in, and we are using the virtual machine service as EC2. So if you've been to the class, you should know of EC2 and some other services in the class. So these are some of our recently used services. But what we are focusing on is the EC2, which I'll be using for today's demonstration. And this is AWS. There are quite a lot of cloud service providers. We have AWS, we have Azure, we have GCP. But for myself, we'll be using AWS for today for this demo using EC2. And what we basically want to do is to launch an instance. But before we do so, we need to decide which websites are we trying to use for this demonstration. So I will not be using a real actual running website, but I just want to use a template so you can be free to use any website of your choice. And I have a template already kept down, which is I think from this link, so we can see the template of what we might be having. Just something very simple, not so complex to use. Now, this is maybe for those who are not okay, just want to get the template from here. There are quite a lot of templates. I think we'll be going with this. Just a website that shows the name and hope I'm not shorting it. Just the name and just some brief description of what the person is about. So for this, we are seeing a template of Adam Jason. So let's do so. So I have it downloaded. You hope to be very fast with it. I think it's done. Okay, it's done. Okay, I have it here. Okay, I want to see this. Okay, should I see it?
Yeah.
Okay,
It's really
I think let me sit then. Thank you. Okay, so for those online,
The browser, yes.
okay, when I use the browser, okay. Okay, so let's extract this. Still here. So what we are still doing now is just getting a template of what we want to use. I think I'll best name this folder. Let's just call it cloud
Demo.
sheets. Okay, someone said cloud demo. So let's just say web demo. Okay, then now you actually want to work from where I have added some web demo. Then best is, so let me work from the terminal at this point. So it will be easy to just open it from my VS Code. Okay, so the goal is just to open this same stuff in my VS Code, which is what we have. So this is exactly, so it's opening, just some seconds. So this was just a template of what we downloaded right here in my VS Code. So same thing with what we have here. Same thing of what we have here from our download is the same thing we have in our VS Code. So in case if I want to update any of the scripts. So if we want to see a preview of what we actually have, if I run the index.html, this is what it should give us, which was a template we ended up downloading, just Adam Jason security chef, Cyborg never asked for this. So we'll get to update this website automatically without having to log into our server and without having to set up a CI/CD. So that's the goal of what we actually want to do. But then, first off, is we need to prepare the server, then prepare user data script. I don't know if this is clear for them now. How large is it? Can they clearly see this?
Yes.
You said?
Yes.
Okay. Then prepare the server, prepare the user data script that we're using launching the server, and we are good to go. So if there's any change, we can go ahead to do that from our what's it called? From our Visual Studio Code, and we are good to go. But at the same time, what we'll use to power that automation is using GitHub. That's having a repository where all of this is cached. So once it is uploaded, it can also be cached in our server. So let me go back to setting up the resource. So we have EC2 instance. We can just launch an instance from here. So we call it website demo.
Sorry, your screen is not showing here.
It's not showing there.
Yeah. Yes. Maybe you should stop presenting and start
Okay, let
again.
me stop and start again.
What is the backstage?
My backstage.
Okay.
Is it obvious now? Can you see it?
Yeah.
Is it visible?
Yes, it is.
Okay. Okay. So we are doing a website demo as a server or as a web server. And this is better. Our web server. So that is where we are deploying our website from. So we have it as web server to keep things very basic and to save costs since it's not a high traffic one. We are looking at the default value of Amazon Linux 2, which is free tier. And we are using T2 Micro. Then for Keeper, we can decide to create a new Keeper if we don't have an existing one. So let's just create Keeper and just call it Web Keeper. That's all. We will be using this Web Keeper for it. That's been downloaded in case I need to SSH at any point in time, which we will not be needing for this demo, unlike the conventional way we always do before. Then for security group, let's create a new security group.
Sorry, I can still see your screen.
You can't see my screen.
Yes.
Wow.
Okay.
It's still presenting from here.
Yeah, but it's not showing here.
And it's no network.
Okay, so I'm bringing you back on stage again.
Okay. Well, can they still hear me?
Yes, they are hearing you. From
Okay.
here. It's not clear.
Sorry, exercise of patience. Let my screen be visible again.
It's showing now.
It's showing now.
Yes.
It's from there. Okay. So I'm back. So we are just at the point of launching our instance. So we've given it a name. Then we've also just left that default for courtesy, and we created a new key and which is good to go. Then also for security group, we want to allow since we are not doing SSH, but I'll add it in case.
Sorry,
of,
they want you to zoom in. Or they zoom out.
Is it better?
Yeah.
Is it better?
Yes. Yes.
This is okay. So I'm creating a new security group, which I'll give the name Web Server Security Group. So as we know, the security group is what dictates which ports are allowed both in and out. and for this case we are allowing SSH. Then also we are also allowing HTTP.
Sorry, they can't hear you.
Just zoom out a bit.
Can't hear you.
You can't hear me. Are you sure? Can you hear me now?
Please ask.
You can hear me.
You can hear him.
So we are also accommodating the virtual audience.
No, it's also.
No, it's also-
Okay, okay, somebody
Just to
said.
know.
Okay, let the person check the network.
Okay, the person actually.
Okay. So we have HTTP. This is for SSH. For HTTP, since we are not adding a certificate for now, I think that's just all we need for this to run. Then, if you wish to add, you can add TTPS for those who will be having a certificate added to it for secure web transit. So,
The volume is very low. Maybe that's why they are not hearing you.
it's very low.
Yes, very low.
Is it
I
like
think,
place the mic?
Is it better now? Is it
It's
better?
much better now. Thank you so much.
Okay, much better now.
Yes.
Okay, so I think maybe it should be better here. So this is for HTTPS and everything is good to go. Then the final part we need to do is just to add our user data script that enables us to perform the magic we basically want to have to be done. Now, I already have a script down because I'm trying to write a script from scratch till finish. Might take some time, but I explain every part of this script, so hopefully they can see my screen. I know here we can see the screen, but online I believe they can also see the screen. So this is a bash script that just basically this shows it's a bash script. So the first thing is we need to install the tools we'll require, and we have three major tools here. The first is the HTTPD that serves as the web server. To zoom in. I'm not sure if this we agree to zoom. Okay. This is better. Okay, so we have the HTTP, that's Apache Web Server first. Then we also have Git, so that Git utility can run on the server that we use for pulling and cloning our repo. Then we have Crony. Crony is cron tab or cron job for scheduling tasks on Linux. So these are the three tools we'll be using. So this line is just to first we update the server to make sure that our packages are updated. Then next we have the two utilities we basically available. Then also is to also make the cron available that by running systemctl enable cron d. So that's it. Then next is to define the repo we'll be using, which is this aspect. So we are just giving it a variable that's repo URL, since we'll be calling it in different places of this script. So we just use repo URL, give it the repo, which we'll create now. Then web directory, where if you're familiar with web server, your web directory is usually by default from var/www/html, which if we were to log into the server, we'll get to do all of these things we are using this code to do manually, and this saves that we want to have the script down. Then also, the next thing is for the server to clone the repo, like a conditional statement. If this .git exists, which we are talking about, if it does not exist, it clones it. But if it or else we do what? But if it already exists, it pulls the updates down into that repo. So this is basically I would say the cheat code that runs this whole process. That you don't need to always log into the server to carry out your process manually, because this basically either first time it clones it, then after the first clone, it's always available, and the next thing it does is it pulls it. Then what happens is it sets ownership of that directory so that Apache can always use it. If not, sometimes it can run into some errors because some of the files will be created by root and Apache does not have access to it. Then finally, we add the cron job to it that pulls every minute. So this is it. So this is a cron job command from this part till this part that pulls the cron job, that pulls the repo Okay. I think they should hear me now.
Yeah.
This was offline. That was one.
Yeah.
Can you hear me better now? It should be clearer. Confirm?
Yes.
Yeah.
Come
Okay.
on
So
now.
this was the challenge.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's
So
okay now.
okay.
Very loud.
Okay. Thank you. Sorry for the break. So we are back on track. So I said this initially had nothing, so which I basically want to just run this way. So we just see that our web server has been deployed, but yet the website is not there. So to show that we don't need to always go back to the website to the server to deploy our website. So if I go on with this same script that we have, since it has been updated, as a user data scripts, we have it as this. So it's good to go. So we have it as this. All of this will be shared across to everyone, and you can always get the repo will be dropped in the chat so that everyone can have access to it. So if you need to clone or also get access to the web template, you can see it. So I can go ahead to launch my instance. I think something is missing. Oh, so sorry. Let's just make it anywhere quickly. Okay. Okay. So, okay, so it has been deployed. So let's get to see it. Okay. So it's running. So if we open the public IP, let's use it should fail now. So it's just showing it works. So this is not actually what we want to see. This is basically what we want to see in the end. But this is still from my local. Take note. This is not. I think I should close this to avoid. No problem. So this is it. It's showing it works. So the next thing for us to do is to push this to the repo, and it will be automatically cached here to have our real website available. So what we have to do is to make all of these files available in the repo, and it's easy. Let's open the terminal. Okay. Let me just make this a minute. You want to add all of those files. So let's clone it here. We need to copy it again. Get it from here. This should be very small. Can I zoom out? Okay. Okay. It's not showing a full button. So we have our repo here, but in a different. Let's CD into. Well, let me copy the files first. Into web demo. So these are all of the files, and we created the repo as a website demo, and we used the repo URL to create. So, go for now is to move all of these files into the website demo directory so that they can be cached in the JIT repo. So it's just to copy everything here. Everything. Sorry. Websites. Okay. So if we go back to the website demo now. Okay, so sorry, let me clear this screen. So we have everything in here now. So the next thing to do is to move it to our JIT repo. So we do our LA, so we do our JIT status. So we see all of this file. I don't know if this is too large, especially for those online. All of these files are yet to be tracked in our JIT repo by doing JIT status to see them. Then if I add them by using JIT add, everything here, then JIT commit. So you can say adding our web files. Then we can push it now. And 11:28 according to time. So let's see website, which is still this. So we expect that by the time it's 11:29 or the time changes, we should see it responding properly. If you come back to JIT repo, where is it? Yeah. So initially it was just empty with just the readme, but if we should refresh, we should have all of those files here, and so which means our web files are also here. So we should have it deployed on our website. So 11:28, as I said, we are just giving a 1 minute now. So it's 11:29. So we refresh this. Okay.
Check the script.
That will take more than
Check the script. There's a
One
quotation mark missing.
Yeah.
Your repo. Period.
I think I overran. So sorry, I might just need to. It won't speak except I go into the server to have this. Yeah. So let's just quickly update it by just running it afresh. So, sorry about that, so error. So the concept still remains. So let me just recreate a new server just very briefly since the script has been corrected. So as same step, but this time is websites demo. So we have everything we need. Since we created a keyword, then we can still just use it. Then we can still use the existing security group we have. Sorry. Okay. Then we
So we can modify the user data without recreating.
No, the user data runs only at the startup of the instance. Just the first time the instance is running, just at the startup. So the next time it will run it, if I stop.
Stop. If we stop now, modify user data.
No.
So
So it's just except if I was using something like an auto scaling, then I go ahead to modify the user instruction. Let's confirm that the quotation of the present. So this time, since we have this, we will just launch. So the server that is running now will basically have the website on. So you won't be seeing it work since we have the main server active. Sorry about that oversight. So sometimes you always just need to check your code to see that you don't have any. So if I bring this up, this is still on HTTPS. I need to make it HTTP. Make it running. Or maybe the server is still.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. It's coming up. So the server was still initializing. So we have it deployed. So this is what we are supposed to see at the first time. Just it without having to log into the server, write a SSH, or have to do a lot of changes, having to deploy your install your web server, writing front tab code separately into the server. You can just use a user data script just as we did to have this running. So it is, I don't know who is Adam Jensen, it's a template, and so it's not like you have a real server running on your a real website running on your server and you need to make changes to it. So instead of you doing maybe SSH or deploying or setting up a CI/CD and all of those stuff, you can just easily go to your Visual Studio from here. Sorry, this is large. I want to reduce it. Okay, so from the index.html, so for software developers, this is a piece of cake for them to do. So I just look for where it has the Adams.json. This is just a basic. I think this is clear to them. I think let me choose. Ouch. That's too much. Okay. So Adams.json, I don't know who you are. So I'm Samuel Joseph. So it's more like you're updating your server now, not a security check. Cloud engineer. Then what else? I'm not a cyber. I'm a real person. I think I can just add. Let me just add data forts. Then I think I like saying this. Never asked for this. So what is something you guys never asked for that I can tell about myself? An amazing chef.
Really?
Yeah. It's a very important secret I like saying. So I'm an amazing chef. So anytime you have a chance, just visit me. But let me know you're coming. Maybe there's something awesome for you. So I've made changes to this. Before the changes are deployed, this is basically what we have on the web server or on the website running, and it's not what we actually want. Maybe there are changes, there are updates. All I just need to do is save this. Did I click Ctrl Z?
Should be good.
Okay.
I think you're on conference.
Okay.
To see.
We'll see. Then we can check. Also, click. Oh, I'm in the wrong-
You said
I'm in the wrong directory. That was the initial directory before we brought in our repo into it. So this is the right directory, sorry. So still here. So this is where I'm changing. Okay. So I'm saying this yes. Okay. Then what are the three things I described with myself? cloud engineer. And we can have data forts here. Then very importantly, I'm also what? No problem. If you know of any cooking competition, just reach out to me. Your investment is safe. I can guarantee you that. An amazing chef. Then I can go ahead to say. Then if you're not so familiar with the terminal, you can also use this to run the script. Also catch the repo link. So you can just say updated website. So I can go ahead to comments and think that's the same thing as push to that same repo. Then it's updating. This is okay, done. So this is 11:37 in quotes. By 11:38, I expect the website. I've taken out this guy and bringing the real person. So let's just give it some seconds for it to update. So we just have 1 minute lag for this to go. So the major secret behind this is just the user data scripts. Why this is loading. These are data scripts that does this pull. So the first time we create the server, it clones the repo. And the next time for every time there's a change, it just pulls the repo. But then that pull happens from this cron job that runs every 1 minute. And then for this command, this compute global add set representation, because sometimes when you try to pull a repo from a directory where it does not know, it throws error. So we're adding this to bypass that error. Also, then we end up pulling the repo from this command, this origin input. I think we should be good now if I refresh my website to have myself available. So with ease, mainly for beginners and just to show one or two things. So you could use this as a project for some persons who want to just show some projects, so some hands-on. You just use it as a project to show out there. Just very lightweight. Instead of you maybe trying to set up Jenkins, set up GitHub Actions, CI, GitLab CI, CD, and the likes. With just this on a very light note, you can just have your website, update it, and you are good to go. So thank you so much for this session. I think let me ask some questions, but I think questions can come in much later. Okay.
Yeah.
Is that?
So I actually wanted to focus on what he said.
Okay.
With regards to I don't know. So we declared the. If you look at the if you look at the script, right? He declared it as an environmental variable. So your user data already maps that to the server as an environmental variable. But if you don't, if spinning up a new server would be too tedious, having to set all of those, all of the, all of those things, those parameters and all of that, because it's convenient. All you have to do is just SSH into the server and then run your env command. When you run an env command, it will grab all of the environmental variables. You just add what you need to add there, and then you're off. I think it still works rather than actually telling them and then to name one. I just wanted to bring that in. Okay.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Mr. Theophilus. I think we'll stop here for now, and the next session we'll be having will basically be the panel session. But before then, we can have our anchor come to say hello to everyone. Thank you so much once again. So some seconds.
So I think someone walked in. We've introduced ourselves actually. So someone walked in during some persons actually walked in. If you know you've not introduced yourself, please would like to know. I mean the room is small. I want to get to know you and connect
It's
with
okay.
everybody.
Sam, it's okay.
Yes, so I'll start from you. You walked in during the section. Please introduce yourself. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone.
Unless you're cute.
That's your fine face.
Good morning, everyone. Yes, Dr. Balasho.
Wow.
It's a pleasure to meet everyone today. So, I don't know what other information is
Sorry.
But, okay, so I first let's say data scientist. I'm also looking to come into DevOps engineering and cloud engineering. So that's
You're welcome.
Alright. Thank you so much.
I'm wearing green, only shirts.
This one. I know, tightly. Yeah. We are going to speed it up. We are like, we are open. We want to receive someone. No, are you our boss too? Okay, so thank you so much, sir, for coming. And also, we have one other. Oh, our fine looking young man at the back. Please introduce.
Why are you looking back? There are two. There are two.
Before you go to the back.
I know it's next.
And you are friends, so don't do this. Alright, so let's just go to the next person. Let's appreciate him. Please
Yeah, good morning, everyone. My name is Umar. I'm a trader, a crypto trader, and I'm into front-end development.
Anyways, thank you so much for coming. Thank you.
So is this?
Yes, the next person. Yes. You want to
No, sorry. He.
Okay.
Say you. It's you.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Oluwaseun. My name is Oluwaseun. So I'm a system administrator. Basically, I just want to learn about cloud computing and get hands-on experience. I'm actually going to that.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Seth. I'm a businessman.
Alright, thank you so much. I mean, it's so awesome to have you in our midst today. We have people in diverse fields. I mean, it makes the room colorful, right? So we are going to be learning a lot today. Thanks for coming. And yes, we have some students in Data Force that are here today. Some actually joined us online and are following. And we have some persons here today, just a few persons that would like to share one or two testimonies, right? Yes, very brief. Don't worry. They'll be very brief. Please, if you know you are here and you'd like to share your testimony you're doing so far and how awesome it has been being under this tutelage, please join me here.
Yeah, now. Starting from
Yeah, I really
Mr.
don't know their
Ruben.
names, so-
Starting from Mr. Ruben.
Yes, Mr. Ruben. Yes, I really don't know who I'm going to call, but then please let's hear you, Mr. Ruben. Okay. Please let's appreciate him as he comes up.
Next is Becky.
Next is Becky. Exactly. Oh, time for payback. Becky. Wow.
Okay, good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
My name is Ruben. I just finished the cloud computing program under the tutelage of Mr. Samuel at Datafort. And you know, this cloud computing, people who do this cloud computing, they are very, very intentional. You almost do not market it to them. they know that that is what they want to do before they come. I don't know if I am wrong, but I knew I wanted to do cloud computing before I even saw Datafort. And the experience has been very, very, very educating for me because maybe because of his style of teaching, very interactive. Absolutely. He's always carrying you along. He gets to a point, he's not hearing us. He's, okay, I want to know if what I am saying is getting across. And this style of testing our competence is also very, very interesting because, like he says, you know, these questions I think he twists the questions other than what AWS would have put it. Use his own language, I think, to push us further. And what can I say? At least at this point in time, I think I can launch an instance. S3 buckets. I have a good foundation of Lambda. I could go. I didn't expect us to speak right now. So, like I said, this was an ambush, but at least I know that where I was when I started this program is not where I am today. Definitely, I know that I'm not where I'm going to yet. But I know that it has been a very, very interesting and educative journey. And the what I have learned already has called me to want to go even further. I want to just stop here for now.
Thank you so much, Mr. Okay, so Becky. Yes.
You first. Come on, say something now. 1 or 2 words.
Okay. Oh, basically repeat your words. Okay. Standing on the existing protocols of Mr. Ruben. Hello, everybody. So I am a cyber security student at Datafort. I'm not done. I'm still in the process of learning. But so far, so good. It's been amazing. My tutor is wonderful. I'm always on his neck. But I know I can be quite persistent and pestering and I ask lots of questions. But he has been quite accommodating and always tries to give me the answers that I need and deserve and try to push me to do better. And cybersecurity has been nice. At least I know that so my foundation in computer or networking was not just it. Right from primary school, it never just like stuck out to me. I didn't always just find it was not boring. It wasn't just appealing to me. So I just always try to avoid anything computer. Going even to junior school, JS1, JS2 was compulsory, JS3 for WAEC, it wasn't compulsory, so I ran away. Senior secondary school, there was an elective, data processing, and I ran away too. Like, I avoided it. So, foundations of computer was not really like there for me. So, doing my research, and based on my kind of personality, I saw that cybersecurity is something that I'm interested in, which made me go into it. And so far, so good. Networking has been, it's also like a very important aspect in the cybersecurity journey. It's not what it is, but it's like an important aspect. And I'll say that it's been good. At least I know how to do some 1 or 2s. We've used Packet Tracer, and so far so good. That's the only one that I know how to use now, Packet Tracer. We've not started using the Ubuntu, Kali Linux, and the likes of it. And I know that with time, I would be an amazing cybersecurity girl. Woo! Thank you.
Also, I don't know what that was.
Okay, so it's the next.
Yes. you want to say something? Please let's appreciate him.
Yeah. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning, sir.
Yes, it's been a wonderful time here. I don't have much to say. I'm in support of. I share the perspective, the experience with Mr. Ruben. I think we're in the same class together. What I would like to that is kind of striking to me. I can say that getting to know about Delta Force was a great transformation. What do I mean by that? I have I've enrolled in another tech company before. I've done a training with cloud computing. I was so intentional in the sense that I had to resign from my job so that I could have enough time because of the nature of my job. So back in 2021 or thereabout, I tried to pay for the course. It was just like weekend classes. So the only thing that I could remember that I enjoyed was just the food. Yes. So I managed to complete because even it was just as if it was. I never expected it. But then the workload was something else, so I couldn't have enough time. So, but like my friend said the other then, my friend told me that if I really want to transition to tech, it's not something I have to be combining two things or three things. I just have to. I just want to get the best. Just have to close one for the other. So, and last year I had to take the decision, the both steps. I put up my resignation and I did a lot of research. You know, at least I went to like 3 to 4 tech companies just for me to be sure that I don't want to make mistake. I didn't just want to. So, but unfortunately, I landed myself in the area, the zone I never expected, because I was so particular about the tutor being a cloud practitioner, as in to be in the field, to have a professional experience, not just academic stuff. So, but I had no choice. I already paid. I paid 400,000 naira for the course. Yes, I paid 400,000 naira for the course. And first class, second class, I already knew that this is not what I expected. And even the tutor, for that first, second time or third class, I knew that I don't think this guy is actually what they claim. You know, he used to do. He has a kind of fair knowledge as far as Hanson is concerned, but he's far below my own expectation of the tutor that I was expecting that should. So that experience almost assassinated my aspiration as far as cloud is concerned. But because of the kind of person that, as far as personal development is concerned, I'm highly driven by that. So I had to take the challenge of myself, you know, on a daily basis. You know, I don't, even my boss that I resigned from used to even engage me for 1 or 2 jobs. Okay, this is my time now. So, but I used to engage with him one way or the other. But I have my 24 hours to myself. I have to have control over that. So, and then finally, 2-3 months, due to my own personal development, and even the place I did my trade were even surprised. I had to go and sit for my cloud professional certification exam, which I made it, passed it. So from there, before I even finished, by December last year, I finished. I said, now that I have this background, I mean, even though my hands-on is not yet strong in terms of project, because is what I found out is one thing for you to have as far as hands-on knowledge, but it's another thing as far as project-based, you know, issues. You know, for you to be able, there are two different things entirely. Though the hands-on is basic foundation, which is fantastic, but there are some certain things that when it comes to projects, it's far beyond the hands-on thing. You understand? So Then from then, I said, let me challenge myself. I put up for AWS solution architect. You know, said, this guy, you are not yet. So, so I give myself the time, the preparation, and everything. I went for it, and I searched for it, and I made that one as well. So the other place that I put up for, I actually paid 100,000 for internship. Because I was desperate that I really want to have over by concluding the program. Now, yeah, I was not at least I managed my emotion as far as the frustration I already had. I managed myself, but particularly about that internship. At the end of the day, it became another story entirely. You'll get back to me, we finish around December, that by January ending, I'll be contacted for the internship. Ending came. No internship. No internship. I did develop February. During that, I was like, wow. So I think it was during that period that I got to know about Dataforce. I was like, and when I even saw the virtual fee then was 25,000. I was like, 25,000. Okay, this size goes. At least let me see what additional value I will get from my bots. I must tell you, 25,000 happened to far outweigh the fee of 100,000 naira. No. This guy is in fact, they are not in the categories of as far as comparison is concerned. It's classless. I greatly appreciate, especially the tutor, Mr. Sam, fantastic tutor. In fact, he simplified everything. Even starting that some certain things. Even then, at the time we started the class, my former boss used to engage me for some work, for private work. But then I didn't used to, if you notice, I didn't used to attend class regularly, but the regular class, I don't joke with that. I do a follow-up, did the follow-up and everything. So I was like, there are some certain things. I was so disturbed when we were doing the class with the other, everything was just default. If I ask, what about this? What about, don't worry, you don't need to. Even I myself, I used to prepare myself ahead of the classes. If I want to do EC2, I will have even gone to YouTube to watch as many tutorials on this thing. So, but as far as Dataforce and Mr. Sam is concerned, you don't need to stress yourself. You don't need to stress yourself. You simplify everything right from the beginning of the introduction to the cloud computing down to the last class. Is it EC2 cloud formation, Beanstalk, so many fantastic, and simplify it. And I know that he has challenged me a lot. But I still have a lot to learn. And when I saw this program, even though I had OMB engagement today, I had to say no. I must be here. And to even Capito, when I heard about the internship arrangement, I was like, is this for real? Looking at the virtual of 25,000 and without paying one kobo, and you still have to, go further and go deeper. In fact, I say a very big thank you to Dataforce. They continue to go from strength to strength.
All right, thank you so much. Okay, so yes, now we're having another section. So I'll be calling up from Mr. Samuel Joseph. So I will appreciate him as he comes up.
Okay. Thank you so much, Ruben, Dan, and your name Becky, right? Yeah. For the testimonial. So the classes, I would say, was actually an interesting one. It's well solid with what made it more interesting was actually the hands-on. Like it was learning. It was not just theory. It was learning and stuff. So, but it's been awesome and it was a good ride all through. But so we don't delay much time, we want to have a session which is more like a panelist session where we'll be having our guests, we'll have opportunity to ask questions, both those virtually and those physically. You can ask your questions, but we have some questions that we'll ask first before we start taking questions. But at this time, we want to invite our guests. Sorry, before then.
Yes.
Okay. We need. For our guests, so I think we've seen them, we know their neighbors, but they're privileged to have them here. And some very brief talks about them. They are big men in the industry and lion notes. So if you're here still, even myself, I'm still connecting with them till date. So they are my bosses in the industry, and it's good to have them here, and I really want to appreciate them for honoring the invite to be here. Thank you so much. So let me bring them up. So we have Mr. Theophilus. His surname is powerful. So you forgive me if I don't pronounce it right. Oh my God, yeah. He's an experienced DevOps platform engineer, currently supporting production Kubernetes cluster, serving billions, not millions, billions of requests across the MTN group. So he's an MTN SRE engineer, very powerful. So Mr. Theophilus is deep in cloud and on-prem environment, disaster recovery, capacity planning, and he holds multiple certifications ranging from Kubernetes, Terraform, chaos engineering, and is passionate about building resilience and high availability systems. Please let's jam our heads together for Mr. Theophilus. Thank you so much, sir. And you will know he knows what he's doing, at least. Yeah, there are some persons that you just see up there and you know nothing, but he knows what he's doing. He's a senior man in the field. And I also have one of my big friend. I'll just say he's best known for his selfless service, actually. And because I remember one of my major encounter with him was when I was trying to register for my solutions architect exam. That was, I think, 2022 or so. That was some 3 years ago. I had challenges with our Nigerian payment system, and I had to reach out to him, and he stayed awake with me till past 2 a.m. I can't forget that experience. That was so powerful. I know he might not even remember. I was awake with me till past 2 a.m. looking for ways to just make sure I register. After that, he gave me some materials. I wrote my exams, and I passed. And it was a big testimony. And I also remember he had also helped me with referral for one of the roles I'm handling in time past. And he's a big man in the field. He's an AWS community builder, a DevOps engineer, one of the champions. Is there more like championeer or championers of NodeOps in Nigeria? Like a very rare field currently. NodeOps engineering in Nigeria and also Web3. Please let's jam our heads together and let's invite Mr. He's a bad guy. He's a very bad guy. Yeah, and he just ran a 7-week program on NodeOps for free, for free. And I think I was even telling my friend that I'm also currently taking the training for free. Brought in guests from different places, both local and international, for free. Trained guys on NodeOps. It was really an amazing session. Thank you so much, sir. Okay, so I'll be sitting with them. Okay, I'll be sitting with them. So that my legs don't get too weary, and I'll also be monitoring those online. So please do well to So do well to start dropping your questions. Please, those online, can you confirm they can hear me? If you can hear me online, okay, you can hear me clearly. So we have our guests here, and it's a privilege to have them here. So thank you so much. They are actually very busy persons. These are people you don't get to just tell them you want to see them and they are available. So they are busy persons, but they find out time to be here. So thank you so much, sirs. I think I also want to sit so that I can be closer to them. Yeah. Okay. Very briefly, I know I've done introduction for them, and they've done introduction before, so we don't waste a lot of time. This is Mr. Okeme, and this is Mr. Theophilus here with us live in Cloud Cheat Code. So I'll start with the first question, and I'll leave both of them to answer. I have some questions here while I'll be checking out for questions online from our guests. So the first question is cloud computing really a good pick for a tech career, and why? So both of them will be answering that question because we know the tech field is filled with a lot of branches. We have cloud, we have cybersecurity, we have front end, we have back end, we have even these days we now have project management, and I say it's also a tech career. You have products, like quite a lot. But now we are mainly focused on cloud computing. Is it a good tech field, and why do you say it? So let me start from okay,
yeah. Good afternoon, everybody. I think it's afternoon now.
Yeah.
So, cloud computing is still very much a sound career piece. But, pardon me, using the term cloud computing seems a bit vague.
Okay.
Right? At some point, I think I would like us to get very real and have very real conversations.
Let's be very real, like from now, not at some point, from now. Yeah.
Very, very, very real conversations, right? I'm not the guy that knows how to all of this paperwork and stuff like that, but I like reality. And okay, so yes, it's actually, the truth is it's a saturated field, right? Especially here in Nigeria. A lot of companies have still not embraced the cloud, right? Most big companies still use on-premises. Some use hybrid. If you're targeting jobs abroad, but the truth is, cloud computing is here to stay, right? I think Hawaii is building a data center. There are data center investments. Yeah, so there are data center investments now in Nigeria and in other countries close to Nigeria. So companies will be moving to the cloud, newer companies will be coming up. And with the boom of the AI, I mean, startups and everybody, when you want to run your workload as quickly as you can, even if it's not AWS cloud, right? But your basic understanding of cloud computing on the long run will actually help you in naming down roles, right? So, in my perspective, and from what I can see in the industry, it's still a very, very sound pick. Yeah.
No, thank you.
Yeah, I think cloud computing is dope. Like, you made the right decision doing cloud. Like, trust me, you did make the right decision. So in terms of jobs, I believe everybody here should not target Nigerian companies. So sorry. Don't have that mindset that you just want to work for a Nigerian company. You have a global skill. And as much as there are people who might say that it's saturated, I still feel there's a lot of opportunities, and there will still be opportunities coming up in cloud globally. Right? So it's a good pick. Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much. I think you guys are taking it ahead. I had like some questions arranged in other bots. Now, when you say saturated, does it mean, because sometimes you check statistics, like I could maybe pick my system now, browse it out, cloud job roles, and we always see statistics like there are more cloud roles than skilled people to fill it. Is that a myth or a fact from your
there are more cloud roles than people.
than
skilled
people to fill it? Is that a myth or a fact? Says You said it's saturated, right? Because when you say saturated, it means
I
okay.
the word saturated.
Okay. Of course.
No, saturated in the sense that there is a cluster of I don't know who listened to this Apple CEO's interview recently regarding when they were doing this tariff wars. The cluster of resources. Okay, in our company we call them resources. People are resources. The cluster of talented people, right? Especially in Lagos alone, right? Talented guys that know how to do this cloud stuff were much in Nigeria, right? Why I said saturated is because I was actually thinking of the context of Nigerian companies. Nigerian companies. But on a global, he made a correction on a global scale, right? On a global scale, these skills are skills that you can take anywhere. I mean, you can leave Nigeria and go anywhere, and you can still make money with them. I was actually pointing to the reference. I was actually referencing Nigeria, especially Lagos. Guys,
I actually do not think it's saturated. That is opinion and it's valid. I don't think it's saturated because there are other more saturated tech fields like web development. Saturated. If you say React, everybody does React now. So you can't compare that kind of saturation. If you even say data science, data analytics, anybody that does Excel. So that's the next target. Data analytics, everybody's flooding there. So cloud is not so saturated in my opinion. There's a selected few, right? But if I would support his motion, I'll say the lower level of the ladder, beginners level, cloud practitioner, that's where the saturation is. But once you start going up, you start specializing, you can't do everything. You will eventually start adding DevOps to your cloud. That will now make you more niched. Even inside the DevOps, you still get more niched. You get like him now is when it comes to Kubernetes, he does other things, but that Kubernetes I know say is very solid with that. I know Kubernetes, but that's not my niche. You get so yeah.
Okay. Thank you so much. So I also want to ask. A lot of people really still don't know cloud. Let's be honest. At some point I was on that table of it's saturated. And the real reason why it looks like saturated because of the SAP.
Yeah, that's
yeah. Like on LinkedIn, if I have maybe 1,000 followers, about 800 are cloud related. So the content I see are cloud related. I think so within you just be clouded that it's saturated. But walk into any space, 10 guys, ask how many of them are cloud engineers.
Very few.
You will see that less than, it will have the least percentage.
It will have the least. Now, 2%, 1%.
Like, also in my church, I have a lot of guys in tech, young guys. But when I ask how many of them are into cloud, you just got that it's very, you just maybe you and two other persons. But how many of you are developers? 100. Data analysts, 150. So you just see them that. So, but then, why it looks like Nigeria, and I actually believe there's a question that's coming by. I just want to add that Nigeria is getting to that point where we will be highly sought after, because the real truth is Nigeria is backward in terms of technology. That's the real truth. But as organizations are gradually imbibing tech, you discover that globally organizations are going to the cloud. Those that have data centers, they are not so much developing it, except in maybe billion-dollar companies that just like, okay, let's have ours. But Nigeria is also getting to a point where, if you look well, you see a lot of startups, a lot of incubation hubs, a lot of businesses coming through, and they are all tech related. Now, not because here they are really doing any innovation, it's just because they are bringing what is out there into Nigeria, and you are seeing a lot of innovations. And those innovations, no startup now is building any data center. They need cloud guys. So with time, the need for cloud guys will actually increase greatly. But then, at this point in time, it looks like the lower class is actually choked. But if you can just scale up, should I say a bit, and find a specialty, honestly, there are opportunities, both locally and foreign. Yeah. Thank you so much. I just feels like I should add that. So, taking another question, which is with the rise of AI and how it is set to take away job roles, because every time people say AI is we know it is taking away a number of jobs. Do you think cloud computing will be part of those jobs now?
I'll say no.
Okay.
You know, cloud computing is not like web development.
Yeah.
Like where you prompt one thing and it's just going to write all your front end code for you. No. The AI runs in a cloud.
Yeah.
Someone needs to manage it. The AI can't manage it by itself. So you will very much be in job for a very long time before AI can catch up and start automating his own hardware by itself. You get? It's just going to assist you. We have Amazon Q now as an AWS community builder. We have as an Amazon Q in the cloud that can actually assist you with troubleshooting stuff in the cloud, but it can't help you deploy it. It can't help you do the real stuff you're supposed to do. Yeah.
Okay, if I'm to add to that, it will not take your job roles. All right, it will not take your jobs away. Let me just make this small analogy. There was a time when Excel came, accountants were scared, right, that it's going to take our jobs, right? And then it rose, then a class of accountants came up that could use Excel to do accounting.
Yeah.
Right? So those who did not evolve were left behind. Now, those who learned how to use Excel moved on. Now, it will not take your jobs away. Rather, it opened up a new space. In time to come, companies will begin to run their own LLMs, their own models, right? They will need, backtracking to what he said, right? Once you rise above that lower level, there are new rules springing up now. My company is actually looking for machine learning operations engineer, right? Guys and you're not working on-prem, you're doing your stuff on the cloud, you're training data models, right? You're running pipelines for ML operations stuff. And being, I was like, okay, I'm going to learn it. So you must continue to evolve, right? It's one of the targets I have. So it's open up a new niche, and you already have an advantage. What's the advantage? You're already using AWS. You already have a foot in the door, right? So as time goes on, you can evolve, right, and begin to manage the AI that others are using.
Yeah.
Right? They want to deploy a new feature. You know, ChatGPT increases its features every day, right? So they want to deploy a new feature. You are the guys that are going to make it happen. But it depends on you doing what? Evolving, right? You must be deliberate and you must evolve. So, yeah.
Thank you so much. So, cloud is going nowhere. Cloud is here and in quotes forever. It's a transformation, yeah. It will just evolve and you need to evolve with it. So it's because all buildings, I really don't think cloud will go anywhere because more companies are coming. What will just even happen is there will be more cloud providers that will become more prominent. Like what I mean by more prominent is if you say cloud providers, AWS, Azure, GCP, Oracle, IBM, but we'll start seeing more cloud service providers becoming big. Okay, sorry, let me answer.
Well, that's an expensive business.
The time will come, right? In fact, in the next projections are within the next 5 years, right? We will move from that place of looking for jobs. You can actually think of a solution, right? Because you have an AI with you and you understand how to use. If I know how to write code, let's say I'm a developer, for example, now, I can use an AI to write codes, right? Yeah. But I will not be able to operationalize it in the sense that, okay, but you that have that experience, one day you can sit down, right? And I think AI will open up the space for founders to arise.
Yeah.
Guys that can think of problems and like, okay,
solve them overnight.
And solve them overnight. And you deploy your shit to AWS or whatever cloud interface you want to deploy it to, you can operationalize it yourself.
Yeah.
Right?
Because you understand
this thing. So if you have a problem here, your site, like the website you deployed now is not showing, the script I ran was not correct, and you already. So a time will come, it will be for founders, guys that can say, okay, let me. So don't be scared about the AI thing coming. Actually, I was afraid at first, right? And when I looked into it and I saw, oh, this thing is like this, this is like this, I'm like, okay, why not be on the back end? We roll it out. We are the guys that will roll it out. We roll out the new features, and then one day you can just think about, okay, why if I build this thing for First Bank, right? One of my personal goals. Sorry, I might go talk, but let me just say this. One of the reasons I actually picked this up. See, using it in Nigeria, your NIN. I worked in NTN Nigeria and I saw a lot of things. Right, your NIN, the government deducts when you run that check for your NIN. There are companies that actually hold back some money, 20 naira, right? So imagine you build a service that can be integrated, that can automate maybe something you're doing manually. I want to stimulate your creativity, right? I'm not just here to tell you how to get jobs, right? You can build something that can automate something. People, when I did my NIN back in 2015, you have to go home and wait for 3 months. When you misplace that sheet, that paper, getting your NIN, to get it again, you have to go back to that NIN office. And you now stand in a very long queue, then in Port Harcourt. You stand in a very long queue. And somebody just thought about it. Why not do this thing? Tie to our mobile, to a phone number, and then create. NIMSI has a database. Create an API. NIMSI just creates an API. Integrate it to the telcos such that you have a mobile number. You dial something, right? You dial your mobile number. During the enrollment process, put your mobile number and you take your thumb, whatever it is. You just dial the code. As long as it's attached to your mobile number, it prints your NIN for a small fee. I would rather pay 20 naira. I would even pay 2,000 naira sitting down at home than go and stand in a long queue, right?
Yeah.
So you're powerful. AI will make you more powerful as long as you're creative. So don't have that fear. I just wanted to portray that point. Yeah.
Thank you so much. Don't have that. So AI is actually here to help and to boost innovation in the nearest future. Like okay, I think for times I wanted to share an example, but it will come in handy later. Okay, so I want to ask a question which we'll get to the job part because I know a lot of persons want to just ask it. It's an unending question, but before then, I want to ask you, what are your biggest or greatest cloud or tech hacks, or what do you think makes you stand out in this industry? Now, you guys, as much as you don't like to have there are big boys in the industry, in this space, at least at this level. So, what do you think? It's integrated with another question, which I think let me make both of them together now. So, as a training body, just like Datafort, students have gone through the training, and the truth is, in 3 months, having classes 2 or 3 times a week, they can become a senior cloud engineer. Obviously, it's not possible. So, but then it's a foundation for them to step on, like I said, they're stepped already at the job. So now, I'll let the community know, what do you think they can do to scale faster? Because we've all agreed that at this foundational level, the truth is it's saturated, and most organizations don't actually fancy giving their cloud environment to learners. That's also what we do. And Nigeria is not a country that takes internship serious for training. That's the real truth. Now, we might, I believe my boss said, you've seen internship and you see 3 years experience. Like publication for internship, and you see 3 years experience. And you see them, you need to have SAE, you need to have, and you're calling it internship, and you need Kubernetes certificate. So it's crazy. So, but at this foundational level, to what will you say, like, makes someone stand out faster?
It's a question. You have 2 in 1.
Yeah, it's more like 2 in 1.
The second one is, what would you do to make you?
Yeah. First is, what do you think you're doing that's making you stand out? Second, what would they do to scale faster?
What I am doing to make me stand
What
out.
that made you Yes, I think it's that's why.
Yeah.
So you answer one on the personal context
Yes.
first. Then one is like an
Oh,
advice to
yeah.
everybody. Yeah.
Okay, so right now well, with the glory of God, I think I actually stand out.
Yeah.
I actually stand out in the whole of the internet, both in Nigeria, because what I currently do now, there's only very selected few people who do it. I niched into node operations, node ops engineering, and it has to do with blockchain, right? So because of that niche, there are very few people who can do it, and that makes because it's rare, it makes it more demanding. So that makes me stand out. Then what can I do to advise you? Right? Don't call yourself a beginner. Don't ever do that. That's the first thing. Don't call yourself don't even think you're a beginner. Number 2, projects. I can tell you that when I started doing cloud in my first 3 months, people thought I already had 5 years experience. Meanwhile, it's just 3 months I have. And why? Was because I have projects. I work on projects every day. Every day, open your laptop, create something, write an article. Very important. That article thing is very, very important. Write an article, have plenty of projects. If it's possible, have your own website. So when they start searching and they just see your name, you already have things lined up. Nobody will ask you when did you start because you think you started since. Right? So build that portfolio, work on projects a lot. And I will say this, what makes you become a senior is not by the amount of years, it's the amount of errors that you fixed. It's your errors that make you become senior. So anytime you see an error, it might be very hard and sometimes you'll be traumatizing. You might not be able to see. You might be traumatizing, you'll be thinking, oh God, how am I going to do this? It's not working, I've tried all my best. But the moment you fix it, forget it. You've just taken 5 steps up. You will now see another person in a DevOps study group facing that error. Meanwhile, you faced it before. You give the person advice, they'll call you senior. That's how you become a senior. Fix errors, work on projects, and write articles on what you be very loud. Some people say old school tech bros are the ones who will be working in silos and hiding that. No, I don't want people to know me. You're an hermit, you work only inside your house. So you don't go outside, you don't go to meet up. Sorry, you will not move. That's old school. Now, if you do any small, this thing that Sam just did now, this demo, do you have an article for that? Just write an article. In fact, do YouTube for that because I think that's a very solid project. You guys can also copy it. Solid project, put it on your LinkedIn. Yeah. You get so that's my own success.
Okay. The first question is about how personal. What stands me out, right? So what I would say is I test a lot of things, projects as well. I mean, if I need to do something at work next week or tomorrow, I'm going to build a personal project on it first, right? I would, because with the level I am right now, I do enterprise-based capacity planning, right? I mean, we have to plan these things, and by God's grace and to the glory of God, I'm one of the senior platform engineers in my team. So we do a lot of capacity planning. He's clapping, but the truth is okay. Let me backtrack a little. Like what our sister Betty said here. Becky, sorry. I didn't get my own laptop till like 300 level. I didn't even know this computer shit like people are doing right now. One day I was just walking around and saw one cybersecurity training. That was where some of us are coming from backgrounds, so if we want to do something, we need to go and read it very well, so that tomorrow as we are coming to talk about that shit. So I do a lot of personal testing. I have my own environment on AWS where I deploy my own. I don't write articles like him, but I have a lot of personal documentations. I mean, I have stacks of personal documentations that I keep internally. I'm one of those guys that I work for God at the high. So at a point we had to let go of certain Indians because of what me and some other guys in Nigeria were doing. Right, like guys who can go, we have Nigerians that can do what you're doing. You know? So we build, I work with a colleague side by side. We deploy our things internally, we test them, we break them, see how it looks like. It fails, sometimes we're troubleshooting and it's not working, and sometimes I want to cry. She will come, she will not say, don't pray to work, and you will. Sorry, it will work. You know, what are you doing? Is the cluster working? You know, so you break, you learn, you break, you learn, you break, you learn, right? And then tomorrow at work, when I'm talking like, oh boy, this guy's happy with me. It's just like go with back. So you go and read. So personally, I think that helped me a lot, right? It helped me grow my confidence, especially within my organization, right? Then what I would tell you to do, I've answered the first question, right? What I would tell you to do, there is an AWS group he opened. That was where I met my boss. That's what we all So, first, I think you should join a community. See, what I don't learn from there. Let's drop the whole drop the whole thing. Let's really talk. Let's have a real conversation. If you want to do projects, you will run into problems. And those problems, you will need people that know what they are doing. And you know the funny thing, I used to think Nigerians are competitive. You know, they like help ourselves. Now for that group, I don't see people know the reason all your thing. They don't reason what you're doing, right? As you bring the problem, there are people that are ready to go on calls with you. Bring Google Meet, make we check with you the talk. You know, so have a community like that, right? And you see what people are doing there. Some guys are building really amazing things, and it is really challenging. It is so have a community like that, right? And people share ideas, right? You get to see what is trending. We have one of our senior man there where when they wear a draft article and you go and read, you say, which one I won't learn again?
The first
yeah. So join communities like that, and like he said, please build. For you that are still coming, some of us already have a track record. I may not have to really put articles out there for people to know what I'm doing. Right? Sometimes I just need to come up with a small write-up of one very deep thing, and everybody will like, oh, you know. But if you're coming up, you need to write a lot of articles. In fact, pair yourself with, like, there was this guy in that group, Doctor in Tech.
Yeah.
So I gave him a project idea. I told him, go and deploy multiple clusters on AWS.
Yeah.
Use load balancing. Use one load balancer to load balance multiple traffic.
Yeah.
So you have one load balancer, but multiple VIPs.
Yeah.
Multiple virtual IP addresses. So you also make friends, like he said, go to meetups. You meet guys that are experienced that will give you project ideas. Sometimes within your own scope, you cannot really build. So if you have people who are already working day to day, you know, like node ops, okay, that's okay. Tomorrow is node ops you want to do, right? And then you meet somebody who is already working day to day. Because what kind of project can I build that will mimic a real life? Like, nobody wants to see you deploy anything to themselves. Trust me. It's a everybody will just know that this one is a new guy, you know. So you go and ask somebody, what kind of thing are you doing inside? Then when you deploy, people like,
where is that infrastructure as code? There's one project that proves that look, you've qualified.
Yeah.
3-tier web application. You must do it.
Okay, funny enough, they did it in their training. You remember the cloud formation we did? So the 3-tier. So but then that's not Terraform. That was an infrastructure as code, but on AWS using CloudForm. So where you deploy your public website, where you distribute with load balancer with auto scaling, then your database at the back end. So that's the 3-tier. So it's okay. So nobody continue.
No. Come on.
So
we are just chatting.
We're chatting. We're having a conversation. It's not what you want to know, right? These are the things that will get you where you want to go, right? Meet people that are in the field already. Oga, what is that thing that you are doing that is peculiar in your job? So CI/CD pipelines that you are running, you are doing a normal CI/CD. Somebody will not tell you, in our company we used to we host our own runners like GitHub Actions or whatever it is, or there is a configuration for Jenkins that is outside of the ordinary. He talks to you about it, and then you go build a project on it, something solid. And when you put it out there, people will know, this one no the beginner level. You know, imagine deploying multiple clusters, and you're routing with a single load balancer with multiple VIPs. So people, your attention, your target audience is going to change drastically. In fact, if you get to a point, recruiters will have to be reaching out to you to say,
actually.
So that's what you do to level up. Yeah.
Okay, wow. Thank you so much. This is quite a whole lot. So I also want to add, so for the community, join community, but let me add this, which I believe at this level, if you really want to scale and get to the top, you should be able to overcome fear. Because if you join that community on your day one, you'll be intimidated. But then I'll give, let me take permission from him. Do I have permission to have my students?
Yeah, sure.
It's open source. And also, there was something that Mr. Theophilus said, where you join the platform and you see people willing to send you Google Meet link.
Google Meet.
I remember when I joined the community, I was still learning Linux then. And the first issue I had was when I was unable to enable my network on the I see his virtual box then on it. And I just asked in the group, and I just saw 3 different persons. Alpha. And I was like, are these people Nigerians? Because not generally Nigerians are very competitive. Yeah. Before you know, I've just seen 2 games, let's connect. And I connected with one and it was fixed. That's that. So most of the contacts I even have saved are people that came to my game to help. And that was why after I learned, honestly, I was always eager to see someone that asks a question that I know the answer to on the group.
Sorry, okay. Sometimes some people will come 2 days later and say, "Come, this is your issue. You don't fix them. This issue you don't fix them. Or do you still need support? You know."
Yeah.
So that's the kind of environment that's there. Yeah.
So people are actually willing to help. So it was actually one of the things that changed my mentality. And that's why when I was introducing it, I said it was selfless because he started it. Because if he made a group and someone asked a question and he himself knows the answer and it was just, everybody will behave that same way. But when you see him come on chat, you see, they will even tag someone that is not online. Example, they will tag someone that is not online, ask the person how far, we know you might have a day. And when the person comes back later and they respond, so just be willing to network. That networking is key. I do tell persons that even a friend of mine here, I tell you that I have a lot of opportunities currently to both take training and take some job roles, and most of them will know because I applied. Because of someone referred me. So that's it. So network, get busy, do stuffs. And one of my pitfalls, which was like what Mr. Theophilus said, was showing up online. I was not the article kind of guy. Like, I remember just last week, I went to look at one of my Terraform stack and I'm like, God, this is crazy. But then I just felt like I need to prepare an article and post it online. So there are a lot of stuffs we made, but I spoke with him sometimes. So I want to start showing up more online than usual. So it will help you because one thing I also learned is the more visible you are, the more opportunity you get than not being visible. Now, not being visible does not mean you will not get opportunity because they know who you are. It is those that know who you are that reach out to you. Then you are visible and you know what you are doing. Then you know you are in for a lot of selection on your own self. Thank you so much, guys. Let me ask one more question and I check for questions from those online. So, next question would be. These are kind of technical questions.
Yeah,
let me answer.
actually hear.
Okay. I think let's take questions. Okay, let's take questions from persons here. The next question, I say I've just got. I kind of wanted the job to come because you always get questions and just. Okay, let's ask. Okay, so we have questions. Please help us contact. so that they can hear you clearly online. That's why we're using the mic here.
Okay, there's a mic. Okay, there are different crowd rules.
Yeah.
Like we have social architect, we have cloud security engineer, we have cloud engineer, and then we have the rest. Then most of the time you see the prospective employer is looking for solution architect. You understand? But he expects you to know or to have DevOps skill, have a cloud security skill, have okay. Now they need to talk about multi-cloud. They expect you to have Azure skill and have GCP skill. How do we navigate all these things?
Sorry, so what's the salary? What salary? Those kind of guys, they can put
Yes, exactly. Yes. Yes.
Let's answer. Yeah, I think I wanted to come to that at some point, right? At some point, you will need to learn a lot of things, especially when you're looking for a job.
Yeah.
When you're looking for a job, you will need to learn many things, right? But even in specialization, right? As a platform engineer, I'm expected to have a very sound knowledge of cloud engineering. I'm expected to understand disaster recovery. I'm expected to understand capacity planning. I'm expected to. There are so many things, right? So when you begin to do these projects, right, you will begin to pick up those skills one by one, right? Because if you're deploying, for example, you're deploying a website, you're already running scripts on the Linux server. What I used to do back in the days is, because I know Sabi, in fact, Linux, it was when I started doing internship, I learned that there was one operating system called Linux, right? Then I used to, before, when I got my laptop, I was trading Forex that time. That was the only thing. Once I opened the laptop, I downloaded my beta trader. Once that's, so I was like, hey, Linux care. So there's something called Linux. I was like, wow, you know. So deploying that website, you would have to also run some commands. Most of the commands he was running are Linux commands, right? So it means you learn Linux. You have some understanding of networking, because the IP address you put there, if you don't have a good understanding of ports, right? You will not. If you have a problem, you will not troubleshoot.
Yeah, but the question is there no division?
No. Division of labor exists, right? Right now, we have security. We have people that are dedicated to security. You have a major. You have a major, and then there are other things that you must have. To be very honest. You must not. It's not that you sometimes might not really need to work with them, right? But during the interview, they will ask you questions.
Yeah.
So see, preparing for the job is harder than when you go like when you enter. When you enter, you're like maybe for the whole day it's just few commands you're running for the whole day. So because you need to get a job, right? But you will not have to do security, but you just have a knowledge of what security looks like.
Yeah. So what you say is correct, but some HR people are very extreme and they don't know what they are saying. They just do copy and paste. I do not expect someone who has solutions architect to go and be doing infrastructure as code. I do not. That's not your work. You have no business doing that. You get. And if you check most of those companies that used to put plenty things like that are really far apart, they are not standard companies. You see the salary is 150k, 200k.
No, that's fact.
500k. They want one person to do everything because the owner of the company wants to manage the money.
Fund.
And the guys who can actually do everything cannot collect that kind of money. So when you say you want to go and do it, you go there and go and spoil everything for them. Because you don't have the understanding. So as much as you'll be picking up skills, there are some HR, some of those roles are just over exaggerated. Right. So
I think there's a second question.
We are very good.
Okay, thank you very much for this. I think this is one of the realest conversations I've had in terms of having people talk and talking in a real time the way it is. And also, I think you've more like answered as well, because I was going to ask, in cloud, is coding important? Is learning programming language important, right? Is it a skill set you have to go? Because I think it was a couple of months ago I attended the cloud training on stuff like that, and where somebody chatted me up that, do you have programming language experience? I said no, but like, so how do you want to cope in cloud? Immediately I didn't reply the chat, but I just let it go, and I wasn't sure what to. So I want to ask plainly, is it important? And that's one. Secondly, you were talking about being intimidated or AWS level. I'm actually there, and sometimes I see.
What's your name?
We'll be calling him out. So
I don't know him.
So yeah, so I've been there, but I don't say anything there. So most times maybe there's training, I just come there to view. There was time I actually won the voucher there as well. Long time ago.
So you've been there for a long time.
I was assisted by, I think, Mr. Hakim one time that I had issues with my AWS account. I was able to help me resolve it. So, but I'm not gonna lie, so a lot of things are there. I read them, I'm like, God, so because I don't really have much hands-on and I don't really say much on the group, I just come there, read and utter. But I think I'll come there now. So even if it's to blast me, I don't mind. Let me just say. But yeah.
The reason why I want to answer this is because I came from a programming background, right? So in terms of cloud, coding is not so necessary in the lower echelon, right? You just need to know how to do EC2, all those things, storage, compute, what else? Those things, you just need to know it. But when you start going up, it is now necessary because all programs, Python, PHP, everything is syntax is just different. It's the same thing. It's the same logic, loops, conditions, variables, data types, data structure is the same thing. So if you know a programming language, it just gives you an edge in terms of the way you think and the way you solve problems, right? And something that is very important, if you don't really program, you need to know bash scripting. You saw what Sam did is bash scripting. I won't call it scripting programming language, it's just bash scripting, right? So now, in terms of real world scenarios and why it's important, in my company, I work in a blockchain company. I don't write Rust, but our binary is built on Rust. My job is just to set up the blockchain network, right? If there's any issue, I set up a node, I check things there, you know. And one of the test nets network internally we built had an issue. And the DevOps guy, I noticed it. This node, out of 7, 4 is failing, there's an issue. I checked it. It's not a DevOps job to be checking the code. I checked it and I found out that it's good. I reported to the devs. There's a problem there. I said, you can't fix it now. I've never written Rust in my life. But I just have the scope of all these loops, conditions, all those things. So I have to now check inside the code and find out where the problem is. I just saw that it's just a very small thing there. Just fix it and it's working fine. You understand? People, they won't expect you to like be coding every day, but you need to have the experience to save yourself. To save yourself from embarrassment sometimes in the job. Right? So if you don't know it in cloud, it's not really so necessary. Like, but when you start climbing up, it's necessary that you know some programming. At least Python, yes, Python too.
Go.
Python.
Okay, so I actually started doing cloud computing because I wanted to run away from. In fact, I started cybersecurity because I was asking questions. Did they write code? No. Said did they write code? I was like, well, you know. And then I got to a point where no, at first I thought it was hard, right? And then I came into AWS. I was like, okay, this is where I would do, right? And I did Python. I had to still do Python for a while. To answer your question, I think it actually depends on your personal aspirations, right? And where you want to get to. Now, I got into this role, platform engineering. I was doing site reliability engineering before in MTN Nigeria here, before I moved upwards. And now there is a need to build internal tools.
Yeah.
Tools that developers cannot build. Or they can build, but they don't have the operational need. The need, now we need them. Right? They know how to build customer applications. But now, I need to build operators for my Kubernetes clusters. Right? I was even trying to write an admission controller recently. I noticed some guys were making deployments that we did not like. Right? So I wanted to block all form of deployments on the cluster. Right? If you're deploying anything, go through Argo CD. So I need to write an admission controller that expressly rejects any deployments. Right? That's an internal tool. And luckily for me, I've been reading and writing Golang. I challenged myself. I said, this thing, we must learn it. You know, it's still very patchy, here and there, but eventually I got a very good grasp of it. Right? So it depends. It also depends on like you said, on the lower cathedral, you don't need it. But as you begin to specialize, platform engineering is more about building internal development, internal platforms. You need to build tools. And this is a role that my company has forced me into. And to succeed in it, I just have to build. So I have to learn. So please embrace it. It's better you don't start now. And again, let me chip this in. Another thing that will actually give you an advantage is when you're speaking to contribute to some of these open source projects. I think maybe we'll come to that. Let me not jump the gun.
Okay. Okay, I'll get to your questions so that the online persons are not left. So we are also watching the time. Our time is actually running, but let's see how we can run fast. So someone asked. Make it shorter. Yeah, make it shorter. So okay, sorry. I also wanted to add to the stuff you said about the group. Now, before now, the group was not this intimidating. Yeah. Yes, before now. Yes. No, even myself, I feel intimidated sometimes because when I see some stuff, like there's some stuff, someone post, even my boss will say, "Yeah, on that, like you just see different." Because
post almost
every day and it's scary. So, but now I want to say something. When I joined, I know it's not this scary, but it was still scary as a then because as a beginner, when you start seeing, like, you just see what you've not heard of before that exists. But what I did is I did not allow whatever they were posting. I was posting what I needed to post and what I needed support for. And if you get intimidated, you will not post what you want to post. You will not learn. Because you feel like, why will I be asking for what port to use for RDP? On the group where they are talking about deploying microservices. And you're but bro, ask. And you know the real truth.
Nobody will laugh at you, actually.
Nobody will laugh. And you know the real truth. There are many guys looking forward to that kind of question because they can't contribute to how to deploy microservices, but they can contribute to which port for RDP.
Even you yourself, you can even contribute to that kind of question. So once you see somebody who is asking the one that you know, you just contribute.
So and I also noticed something. When a simple question is asked and people attend to it, more simple questions follow. Simple questions now stop when one of the bosses now drops something deep.
Accuracy.
No, so you get so it's more like a mentality. So in case if you get on the group now, don't feel like you are saying post your own stuff. Ask, and the truth is you see people willing to respond. People willing to respond. So I just wanted to add that. So in case if you've been there and you've not been responding or asking stuff, check what people are doing, join them. So someone asked, how are tech experts like yourselves able to remain employed and have gigs pursuing you almost every week? What's the secret?
Actually, that's actually very true. Like I get
an honest question.
Yeah. I get a lot of those kind of things, and for me, what I do is I just refer it to my guys in the community to do it because I don't have the time to do it.
to event, that community to jobs too is something that you might benefit from. So the question is, how do you get it? LinkedIn.
Your secret.
First of all, build a followership. Let people know you for one thing. So once they think about cloud, or anybody has a cloud problem, it's your name that will first come and they will call you. And your LinkedIn needs to be very solid. With him, it's because you already has solid portfolio.
And I still update it too.
Your LinkedIn is your face card, right? Post every day on LinkedIn. You have at least 2 times a week post on LinkedIn. People foreign out will start getting to you. Work on big projects, contribute, help people. Help is not always about you. What can you gain? Have that mentality of service. It's from the people you are helping. They are the ones that will not even refer you.
Yeah.
So anytime you see a problem, in fact, be looking for someone who is always wanting problems. Be looking for problems to solve. Wake up in the morning and just think, who would I help today? Who would I help today? Once one person comes, prayer answered, help the person. That's how opportunities and doors will be opening for you because you are selfless. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, let's talk about that. Gigs will only come actually by referrals. If they are pursuing you, it's because there are a lot of people referring you. True. If they are pursuing you, it's because a lot of people are actually referring you. So even yesterday, somebody hits me up, Alpha. I'm just not letting you go to this guy for I beg. This my guy wants this thing. I say, guy, I beg. I will come persuade you for you. I don't get a chance right now. You know. What happened? Like he said, he had a problem, they needed to fix something, and he called me to the call. It was a Kubernetes related issue, something that we used to toss around at work. Like, okay, do this. And again, I got a job. Okay, no, I only an interview, so not a job actually, with a company in Canada. In fact, what brought my interest into this game, and I like, okay, I won't lie, I don't like what I do. It's because of the money. I don't like it. It's just too much. I like the money. It's the money. So my princess has to look good. So I have to. In fact, I have to do more. So when I got on LinkedIn, somebody asked a question about cybersecurity, and that was like 2023 or 2022. I made a remark. I just explained the question. I gave my own 2 cents. And somebody sent me a connection request from there and said their company is looking for somebody. We talked. Are you available for the interview? Backtracking to what he said, problem. Right? Be active on LinkedIn. Leave your 2 cents everywhere. Please let it be intelligent 2 cents. Right? Look at it, analyze, and drop your 2 cents. People are seeing what you do. Even your articles. So somebody can read your article and like, okay, I like what this guy has said. I like what this guy means. And then you begin to get referrals. I remember one of my friends from LinkedIn called one of the managers then in Sterling Bank and said, this my guy is looking for a job. You know, just because we're friends and I was helping her every now and then to solve some problems. You know, I didn't get that role because of NYC. So, but in a nutshell, right, like you said, help people, put yourself out there, right? And then you get a lot of referrals.
I'll give you one very short example. I was in the gym and somebody just called me, some guy in the community that, there's somebody there's a job interview tomorrow for a senior role, and he has to do with blockchain. And they don't know anybody. They've called, they don't know anybody that can do. That should please come and take the interview. I said, okay, when is the interview? They say it's in 1 hour. I say, okay, who is this person? See, the guy is in the US, he will pay you any amount. Wow, just to attend the interview. I said, I'm busy and I'm not even prepared. Eventually, I went there to do the interview. In just 1 hour. And the reason why they referred me was because they know that this guy can't do it and there's no other person that can do it. That's why we want him. So you need to have that level of value. Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much. I think they've said it all.
because I'll say just this week alone. Okay, between last week and this week, I've sent out 4 different jobs based on referral. One of them I called him, Alpha, do you have, because I don't have someone. Do you have someone? He said, give me some time. Referred me to someone that is taking the role now. So jobs day. It's just opportunity.
Just be good.
And also, I will also say, especially at the level with your LinkedIn, I've just left LinkedIn for a while because, in quotes, I'll say maybe I need it at that point. But from last week, I just updated my LinkedIn, did just one post, and I was reached out by a recruiter. So, and the job that came, I looked at it, no time, I gave it out. Another one that came, I can't handle this. Do you have someone that can handle this? And I gave it out. So, and those persons that have given out jobs have also referred some to me. Because if he needs someone now, because the time he reached out to me for someone for Terraform, I said, currently I'm engaged. They needed someone to do Terraform. I was engaged. I said, okay, he said he will check someone.
company will offer you a job. And all these entry rules, as far as cloud is concerned, they are just like me. It's not existing. So you also have to position yourself as an experienced, professional in that field. So, and the guy advised me that everything even where I was coming from as an administrator, I have to clear everything from my CV. So why I'm asking this is that because I like to be real. And he told me that even for my CV, I had to go to ChatGPT, put up a CV for 5 years. Put up a CV for 5 years. No, that is the strategy he actually adopted, and it worked for him. The guy is actually working top as a top senior, and he's just a beginner too. Well, what he did was that he put like ChatGPT that put up like 5 years experience. Like at the ChatGPT roll up the entire skills that is a 5 years professional must have. So and the guy put up, okay, these are the skills ChatGPT has said I must acquire, I must have to pursue this job. And he went on to YouTube, started learning all of them one after the other.
Wow.
One after the other.
So many people have gotten such jobs.
And then not only that, then you also attend, put up for interview. So you record his interview. You know that it's just for him to learn. It's not for him to get the job. So you put up a record. So all the questions that is asked is recorded. You will now go back again. So if you go to his LinkedIn, you will not see anything. So it's hard to trace. So why I'm asking this is it right? Because as you said now, no, it's related to what guy has already said to me that guy you have to clear all the past experience you already have you have to doctor your CV. Doctor it to position yourself as a beginner, you will take for that level. So that is then secondly, like I said earlier, I've got CCP and SA certification. And at the point, where I was frustrated in that experience I narrated earlier, I got to know about IAM engineer. IAM. Yes. Okay. And there is a role we call IAM engineer. So
very streamlined though. That company must be a very big company.
No, it's not a company. It's just like AWS. We have IAM.
Yes.
We have IAM.
Yeah, was that like an actual role or is it something?
IAM engineer is a role. It's a role. Yes, a role. I had to start learning.
A lot of employees.
That's what it must be a very large. Must be a very large organization, and then they need somebody for only
So I got to know about the IAM, just like we have cloud service provider, we have IAM service provider too. We have Okta, we have what do we call them? So I had to start learning that Okta to be an Okta administrator. So my big issue now is that focus as far as specialization is concerned, because this game as the little I found out as far as the research is concerned is that you cannot, learning GCP, learning also, you have to put your head straight to let that be a kind of specialization. This is what I'm focusing on, and build yourself and be a master. It's when you are master at something, then other things you can learn. But if you have got, and that's the challenge I'm having. You are at the beginner, you are learning this, you are learning this, you are learning. You will not be a master of, just focus on one and learn one and be master at that thing. The other thing is just so
This
please,
is like
I need a guidance.
it's not the question. Ready answer.
Okay. In summary, there's
there's what they call roadmap for every career. So, and when you join the group, we have a roadmap in the link that we follow. And when I started, I actually used the roadmap. So it was the roadmap. I saw, okay, after this, you take Linux. After Linux, you take Docker. After Docker, you take Kubernetes. After Kubernetes, like it's a roadmap that guides you through. So the truth is, at the entry level, you have two options: either be resilient or be frustrated. Because if not, you just be learning, and before you know, you are just losing it. So if you can go systematically, and the truth is, just have the goal of you want to get to that.
And have a mentor.
And have a mentor. Have a mentor. We also guide you. So it's necessary, follow a roadmap, be keen on the roadmap. And the aspect of overselling yourself, just like as the speaking someone said, you can, if you get the job, it's very dangerous. It's very dangerous. And if you do that, it can taint your image and genuine.
Sorry, not just taint your image. Let me. There's
1 minute.
Yes. No. There's a health, no, I just want to speak to what he said. There's a health company in the US that employed one guy that is being supported by another guy in Nigeria. Yes. So this guy is the one that supports him. That guy don't put CV of 8 years experience. I don't know what happened. This guy that was helping him, two of them were doing the job together. Because of payment, I think he pursued the guy. And then he said he can actually get talent anywhere. He now went to get one other guy. The guy, both of them now, they don't know what they do. They deleted one of the environments. And that company, in fact, it was a production environment. Wow. And they breached SLE. Now they are investigating that guy in the US. And if they catch him and they get to know he's routing their work to Nigeria illegally, they go arrest him.
That's the way.
So you sign the contract.
Yeah. If some companies will even give you NDA. Yeah. So that's my take. Don't modify your resume.
Don't even put any years. Just put your project.
Yeah,
don't put your project.
Don't put years.
When we round up, I would say something. I would maybe at the end. So when people are
So I think just one more question online that I'll just give response to quickly because of time. And the question is, would you say it's a good idea to position oneself on Upwork and other job boards? The truth is, if you're looking for a job, I always tell them that job hunting is actually not easy. After you've learned,
it's a job on its own.
It's a job on its own. That's not a job. A job hunting is a job. So as many platforms as you can be on, be there. Anyone that clicks, glory be to God. So do you get? So there are even some platforms that you need to even pay for to get some jobs. Right? So it's not restricted to. But then one of the key they always say is get your first role. Once you can land your first role, there's a level of stability you have, even in starting for other roles. You get because and one other thing we say in cloud is
1 minute.
Okay, except if you don't destroy things. Cloud roles are actually secure. They usually or barely sack. You barely see where they sack a cloud engineer. It's barely, except you had an issue. Do you get? So from there you can always get another role. So this time you are the one moving from one role to another. But the first thing is get your first role and do all you need to do to get it. Okay, so that's it. We might not take any extra questions. So I'll just add, no, she said I think it has been answered. No result. Okay. Final question from me. So after him, okay. So after him, we just
That's serious.
It's all necessary skills that I need to learn if I'm going to know those.
You know anything or
message. Connect to him after the
That is also my question.
That's also your question.
Yes, that's the question I want to ask. But I think Becky, you want to add
Okay,
to that?
so this is like a cloud. Everybody here is just cloud. So I kind of feel left out and naked. Let me not lie. So, but me, I'm cyber, and I think you have like a bit of experience.
I actually did a lot.
You did a lot.
So actually standing up IPS and IDS.
Okay, so it's like, is there like a community for cybersecurity?
There is one, not just found it.
I've not found it. I've been looking.
I don't know one, but I think there is one, but you
I like the giant cyber.
Okay, I know of one. Yes, so just find a way to reach out to me. I'll send you one. Yeah. So, okay, so there are communities. I said it. I have one, and so join the one he has. So on this note, please.
Let me say this week.
Okay.
I know you're pressed for time, right? I came here with a passion, sort of. Maybe my boss wants to.
Yeah, I'm going.
It's going up. But when we're done, if you want, I would tell you what I want to, what I would do.
Yeah.
If I were to look for a job, if I was to go back in time to look for a job right now, like I'm looking for a job right now, or I want to break that ice of I have learned this, and then I want to, maybe not to waste our time. So,
Okay.
but
I think you have a session.
Yeah.
Okay. So
How do you get into
no thoughts. Okay, just briefly.
First of all,
That's your niche. What are the kind of programs or projects that one needs to, the skill set that
you
you
need
need?
to know blockchain.
Blockchain.
Yes. Once you know blockchain and you know DevOps, that's good jobs.
Blockchain operations, actually. Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
You need to know blockchain. You know how it works. Have a wallet. Use crypto every day. You travel abroad. Use P2P to swap your money. Just be using the Web3 products and no blockchain. That's all.
Okay, so you combine that with DevOps.
DevOps.
Yes,
And
DevOps and cloud.
That's DevOps.
That's
Okay.
DevOps.
Thank you so much.
Wow, that's awesome.
So, final. So now we are taking final words from us panel from our speakers. Then we'll have a session where Mr. Tufilo just give us insight on how to land a job, how to land a role. Yeah. Okay. So let's hear his final words before.
Final words, be of service, help people, just be of service and study work on projects as well.
Okay. Final words here. Have somebody that you can always talk to because it's gonna be hard, right? This back then I used to have my mom when I cry. it's you know, when you're working on something and it's not working, right? You will be frustrated. In fact, when you get the emails, unfortunately, they will write the whole, we call it love letters.
Yeah,
they write a lot of things, and then you see, unfortunately, have somebody close to you, someone that can actually motivate you. That's just one thing. Because it's a long road ahead from here.
Okay. Then, finally, I think I want to add this. When you have a mentor, they are aware that those mentors are busy, but at the same time, be resilient. I'm telling you, there is no mentor that is less busy. You want to give you a side eye because honestly, if you don't drag them, they won't respond. I'm telling you the truth because they are also busy. But now, as much as you drag them, be also diligent. Don't let them do your work for you. No mentor will respond to you. They can block you. Now, why? Because I don't expect anybody that is here that is still trying to climb up to a degree to go back and still just sleep and do nothing. You need to start doing stuff. You need to start asking questions on the group. You need to start being on meetings and so. But then you need to be resilient so that you can scale. So I think this has been a wonderful
Attend meetups.
Attend meetups.
Any meetup you see, attend. Especially for the NodeOps one. Many blockchain meetups. Just be attending all of them.
Connect with people, get contacts, and people. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I think even online. So let's jam our hands together for our guests as this.
Thank you.
Okay. So before Mr. Tebilos comes, we want Data Force to just say one or two words to both Sika and Beta students. So sell yourself, your programs, everything.
Okay, everyone, good afternoon. It's really nice to have you all here. And especially as speakers and guests, we really appreciate your time. Thanks for coming out of your busy schedule. You guys made it here. We really appreciate that. And to all our participants, both physical students
and the virtual students. We really appreciate your time as well. Thanks for coming. And from Data Force, we appreciate everyone. And in Data Force, we don't only teach cloud computing. Okay, sorry, my bad. I've not introduced myself. Okay, so my name is Damlola, and I am the product and project manager for Data Force. So I manage every student, every tutor, everything that has to do with Data Force. So I manage it. And in Data Force, we teach a lot of tech skills, cloud computing, software development, product management, project management, digital marketing, business analysis, and others. So if you have any siblings that want to learn tech, they are Data Force is their go-to. Trust me, they are going to get hands-on knowledge. And as you can hear from our students, and these are just cloud computing students alone, if you now hear from other students, you are going to be amazed at what our tutors do. All our tutors are top-notch. I also tutor my students in product and project management. I am also a tutor. So thank you all once again for coming. We really appreciate you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Yes. Thank you,
I
sir.
think I was talking for like 10 minutes, just 10 minutes. And then we'll go. Right. Let's be very real.
Sorry.
Right?
Yeah.
We'll be very real. What's it? So, what would I do if I'm looking for a job right now? To be very honest, I still look for jobs. Right? Everybody's on the search for a better job. Right? You don't stop moving. Right? My role is actually quite good. I enjoy what I do, but there's some level of experience that I want. Right? Now, the first reality is this thing is a dynamic. This thing you've gotten into now is very dynamic. Let me be very real with you. What was trending yesterday will change. Right? I'm a platform engineer right now. Right? DevOps, I've done everything. But towards the end of the year, I have a goal laid out. I had to go into software engineering again. Golang, but primarily with Golang, to build internal systems. Not to learn how to build applications, but to build systems. To OS level programming. Right? When I'm done with that, I'm moving into machine learning operations, meaning I have to go and learn Python again. You must be conversant with everyday trend. You see, the AI trend is coming in a way that every day they're using machine context, MCPs and AI agents and LLMs, right? That's for them, right? But a lot is changing. We're in a very dynamic space. So if I'm looking for a job right now, what would I do? To be very honest, to that brother, I'll go and learn a programming language. Right? Especially when you're looking for international jobs. The reality is, yes, international jobs are there, but they're kind of scarce to Nigerians because of data policies and data laws. The only way you can get a foot on the door is when you begin to contribute to. When the project was growing, you were there with the project, and then they hit up, or you found a way to connect with some people somehow, right? That's the way you can actually get a foot there. It's easier to actually get international jobs than to get Nigerian jobs. To be honest, it's easier to get international jobs than to get jobs in Nigeria, because Nigeria is based on referral and person we know you, we know say you know person, right? But from the comfort of your bedroom, you can join a community, you can begin to contribute to a project, and that project goes live. Now, you that does not have a lot of experience, you can write DevOps. You did DevOps stuff with them. You contributed to the growth of this project. Your selling point is no longer you, but that project. I had a friend that contributed to Meshry. Meshry is a software we use for Kubernetes. What did she do? She only just helped them to build their front end. She noticed, oh, the front end is not so nice. Let's put up this, that. And she was a core contributor. They put her name there as a core contributor. From Meshry, she joined. So when that was the only 2 experiences she had. From Meshry, she joined. There's this very big company as well. But Meshry was her selling point. In fact, I am going back to contribute to Kubernetes. So this would be my playbook if I'm looking for a job right now. Learn a programming language. It is not so hard, to be honest. Give you 2 hours a day. Learn the basics little by little. Right? As you're building, don't forget you're building your projects as well. Look for an open source project. There are internships, Linux Foundation internships that are free. See, internships are like, it's the only way to power your career, because they will give you vouchers for free. Yeah. Vouchers you're supposed to pay dollars for, right? Internship, even AWS Community Builder is an internship program, sort of. Right? So, what do you have right now? Like Jesus said, what do you have in your hands? You have your laptop and you can buy data. Right? For some of us that are a bit buoyant, you can buy data. Right? Look for these programs. There are a lot of internship. Even Outreach internship is out there. Outreach pays about, it's not $6,000, between $6,000 to their interns in the 3 months space. Wow. Sometimes you're a DevOps engineer, but your work there is to help them write documentation. Sure. $6,000. There's a guy that I'm actually mentoring right now. He just finished from the Outreach program. $6,000. You've powered you don't power you can pay for certification, and at the same time, with that name on your resume, Outreach on your resume. I have another guy. It's just that some of us, we got our jobs because of, we got our jobs from the traditional way of you do projects online, you get contacted, you apply for jobs, and then you are working, right? So me, I don't even have the time and the space right now to even join some of these internship programs and contribute. My work is terrible. I mean, they are literally after me every day. I was on the road yesterday, but they are calling me on Teams, they are calling me on WhatsApp, they are calling me everywhere. You know? So, if I were to be in your shoes right now, I'm telling you what I would do. Be very real with you. Learn a simple programming language. Can even be Python. Python is not so difficult, right? You will see the Linux Foundation does in a 3 months interval. Every 3 months, they open mentorship projects. The Linux Foundation has thousands of cloud computing and cloud foundation, something like that. They have thousands of projects. All you just need to do is go and grab documentation, read and read. Once you're done reading, begin to contribute. Find what you can contribute. I have a project right now that they are actually running right now. When I joined the guys, he opened a webinar for it. Only 4 of us and I joined. You know why? It's still a very small project, but I figured that it was a very powerful project. What does the guy do? You have a Kubernetes cluster. If you deploy that onto the Kubernetes cluster, you can use it to spin up more Kubernetes clusters, running on top of one.
Like a VM.
Yes. So your base Kubernetes cluster becomes a VM to other VMs, like where you do visualization on your computer. And yes. But one of the terrible things I saw, the monitoring dashboard was so bad and so terrible. I can just go there and pick up that one and do it. And that becomes, if that project blows up tomorrow, it's on my resume already. You know what you now can put on your LinkedIn? Contributing founder of so and so project. It's true. Because you joined the project when literally people had not even joined. That thing on your LinkedIn profile. You know that LinkedIn header? You put that thing on your profile. Only that profile. For you in cybersecurity, you may even just pick up an everyday project, right? And think of a security flaw there. There are guys that have blown just because they picked up the software and they saw a vulnerability that nobody's. It's so simple. And they just came on LinkedIn. They did not even solve it though. They just alerted the rest of the world. They just alerted the rest of the world to it and said, guys, see you. And boom, that's it. Right? I would contribute to open source projects. You have financial incentive for it. The truth is we are all in this thing because of money. When you even said you design, I was like, hey. Man go chop now. Me, I was actually working, I was doing my own small thing and then also doing my cloud stuff. Right now I'm preparing for CKS. After work, I would still read. I would still watch video and do everything. So you might not need to resign, or you might not need to, but just create time. Look for some of these projects, find them, get into the project. From there, you will meet people. You will meet white dudes. You will meet guys overseas. And if you're good with your shit, you can say, I have a friend that's looking for something for so. And you've landed your role. See, a friend wanted to travel abroad for masters. It was from that open source project she was working on that the guy gave her a recommendation. A work recommendation. Right? I didn't know these things back then. If I had known them, probably I would not even be here. Right? We just did the traditional thing and then we got our jobs. So I would contribute to open source projects. I will leave an impression. Leave an impression on whatever you do. Be confident, join the world, everything we've said before. Right? But please, that's this missing piece. Please add it. Here you will meet people that are in a special need. They need to get the software up and going. Right? Contribute to your experience. Money might even come out of it. They are paying for most of the internship projects. Right? So I think I don't know if I'm able to really communicate what I have in my mind. But this is what I will do. And it's a faster route. Trust me, you will not have to submit resumes every year. It's just the concentrated work of like 6 months. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Let's appreciate him. Thank you so much.
Please, I want to ask a question.
Okay, I'll see.
Concerning the open source projects you mentioned, how can they get open source projects? Where can they look for it?
Okay. Where can you get open source projects? That's where you have your mentors. You have Sam, right? Sam will provide some of those links. I'll share some with him, some that I have, right? There are also some projects on Twitter. Some guys are building things on Twitter. They'll just come out and say, oh, guys, I'm building this, right? If you can contribute, right? But the most important thing is you have a skill set to contribute something, right? You may not know everything. Yeah. Sometimes your own contribution might not even be technical. There are project managers in some of those projects. You can even apply to be a project manager. Help them with Kanban boards and all of those things, Gantt charts and all those things like that for their roles, right? So, but I would send the links to me, some of them that I have. Outreach does every quarter stuff. And again, tell them you are in Africa, we are not technologically advanced. You know how to write those things, you will get them as well.
Thank you so much, sir. This has been, actually, I think this was beyond my expectation. That's beyond my expectation. I just wanted to, the goal was actually to just have my students have a talk with them and let me not just be me. I always be talking to them because they're always familiar with me. Let someone else at least speak to them, and I believe they've heard and they will do the needful. And even myself, because these are my bosses, there are places where get to also. So it's been awesome having you, sir, and also has a function I have to attend quickly. So I'll say thank you so much for coming, especially physically, and those online. Thank you so much for joining me. We made this very possible. It was just me. It would be what would I call it? Just be a recorded session. But it's good we have everyone present. Thank you so much. I hope we didn't waste your time.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, it was what it was. So please take, like what you said, take it seriously, and also, okay, I think you said it all. Because if you can put in the work of what has been said already, I think you should be on a very good plane. So on this note, I want to say thank you very much, everyone. Thank you for coming. It's good to see every one of you. So once again, I'm Samuel Joseph, and thank you. So I think this is very much. Thank you.
Okay, so online students will be ending the stream now. Thank you for joining us today, and we look forward to seeing more of you later in our upcoming sessions. Thank you. Have a wonderful day. Bye for now.